The moai statues on Easter Island have fascinated me for a long time. It's not only a mystery how the statues were carved and moved into position, they are also carved in a highly stylized look. They have long faces with large forehead brows and big long noses, with long skinny arms, and their hands appear to bring attention to their navel area. But I've started to notice that despite their unique style, I feel like I see similarities in various other statues from around the world and from different times. The main features I'm looking at here are the large noses and brow, and the arms bringing attention to the navel area, or in some cases maybe the genital area. Probably the oldest example, at almost 12,000 years old, can be seen at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. One of the pillars in enclosure D is faceless, but it does have the long skinny arms bringing attention to the navel area. It appears to be wearing some kind of loincloth made out of some kind of animal, maybe a fox, which covers the genital area, so I'm pretty sure the navel is where the hands are on the pillar. Also found in Turkey, and probably contemporary to the time of Göbekli Tepe, is the Urfa man. Unlike the pillar, he does have a face, and a big nose on his face. His brow isn't as distinctively large looking like the moai statues, but I think it is still kind of a large brow. And his hands are definitely in position down around either the navel or genital area. Another area contemporary with Göbekli Tepe is Karahan Tepe, where this bust was found depicting a long-faced, big-nosed, big-browed guy. Moving on out of prehistoric times and into ancient times, we have the Kuros of Apollonius found on a Greek island in the Aegean Sea. I found this one on X posted by someone named Jeffrey Vanderloot. He posts a lot of stuff like this, and you might want to look him up if you like this kind of stuff. A few other pictures I'll be using in this video were posted in his Twitter feed. But back to the Kuros of Apollonius. He's said to be from around the 6th or 7th century BC. He's got the long face, big nose, and the big brow. It looks like he is either damaged or maybe wasn't even completely finished, so it's hard to say what he might have been doing with his hands. Moving into Africa, you have these guys, which are thought to be around 1500 years old. Now these faces are stylized in a different way and more ornate, but I think they still got the big nose motif going on. But what I noticed more on these is the arms that point to the navel area, and they appear to have outies. Moving over to Indonesia and back to around 3,500 years ago, you have these guys on the island of Nias. Lots of megaliths on this island. They don't have the hands to navel thing going on, but they definitely got the long face, big nose, and big brow thing going on. The people of Easter Island are of Polynesian descent, and Indonesia isn't part of Polynesia, but it is in the same Southeast Asian part of the world, so it doesn't surprise me here that these statues would have a similar look. While the island of Nias might not be in Polynesia, these statues are. This one is found in French Polynesia on the island of Ravave. Not sure if I pronounced that right. I really think you got the same kind of look going on here as you have with the moai, but just not as stylized as the Easter Island moai. Now moving on to Central America, we have what might be the most mysterious of all of these, the lost Guatemalan monolith. This picture was probably taken in the 1950s, but by the time researcher Oscar Padilla went searching for it in the 1980s, the statue had been destroyed by paramilitary revolutionaries. It's just a face, but out of all of these that we've seen here, this is the face that most resembles the moai to me. It's also been said this is a modern statue, but since it can't be found, it's hard to confirm what its origin is. So these are just some examples that I've been noticing recently. But I feel like I keep noticing this big-nosed, big-brow motif going on in statues from all around the world, and from different time periods. Why do you think this is? It's interesting to think that the Polynesian people who settled Easter Island in ancient times were some of the best, if not the best, seafaring people of their time. It's amazing they could even find somewhere as remote as Easter Island is, being that it is thousands of miles from any other piece of land. If they could do it, perhaps they weren't the only people who could travel the world in prehistoric or ancient times. Is it possible there was once an ancient big-nosed, big-browed people who traveled the world and liked to bring attention to their navels? Or is it just coincidental similarities? What do you think? Those are my thoughts on that. Thanks for listening.